Hey everybody, this is Micah with Life Proof Boats. We're down here today on our new 45-foot full cabin. We're going to give you an in-depth walkthrough video of this boat. We're going to open every hatch. We're going to walk through the displays, show you all the cool equipment this has. It's the latest state-of-the-art to come out of our factory, and it's the first boat on the West Coast with some new technology that I'm excited to tell you all about. So come on board and take a look. I'm excited to show you some of the details and features of this boat. The overall characteristics of this boat: it is 45 feet in length, and that takes us right to where the engines mount on the transom here, right to the very tip of the bow of the collar. With the engines on the back, we're just under 50 feet. So if you're thinking about your moorage and what you need, you can go with a 50-foot slip generally. The beam is 14 feet, and that is from the outside of the collar to the outside of the collar. Characteristics of the boat: we have about 660 gallons of fuel on board. It's a single tank. 100 gallons of fresh water and 60 gallons of black water. So let's walk through this boat. Let's check out some of the unique features of it, and we'll dig into the details. As you can see, with the power plant, we went with 3 Mercury V12 600 horsepower outboards. This boat does a top speed in the upper 60s. 66 is what we see all day long with a full tank of fuel, 6 to 7 people on board. With the right conditions, we've seen it crest 70, which is amazing to think that this boat is a 33,000 pound boat when it's loaded, doing 70 miles an hour. That is astonishing. It is a 22-degree dead rise, so it still has a deep traditional V, and it has a single step. That really does help us as we get up into those upper speeds. You don't notice this though. A lot of step boats, they have a unique feel to them. The steps are a little bit wallowing when you're at lower speeds. This boat doesn't have any of that. It's completely controllable. We have a lot of strake technology and our performance fins that you've probably seen in other boats. You're really going to see that in the bow of the boat. Out of the water, you'll see the forward performance fins. Adds a lot of handling characteristics, makes the boat really controllable, easy to drive. And those front fins really knock all the spray down, so you don't get a lot of spray over the boat. It's extremely dry. It's hard to describe until you get on the boat. There's a reason why almost everyone who's been interested in Spin for a Ride has ordered one. We have quite a full order book already for these. Digging into some of the details, you've seen this on a lot of our boats. This is our rack. You can put dinghies, paddleboards, kayaks, you name it. Crab pots in this case, so it is called Crab Walk. And so this is where he's going to put his crab pots when he's out there doing that kind of fishing. We added some burn-a-wind mounts. They're customizable. You don't have to use these specific rod holders in here. You can do universal things. You could put other poles or other flags if you wanted. He did, fishing rod holders at the moment. Again, universal. And then this rod holder on the back, we've got one on either side. This boat has our shade system, so it's our manual shade is what we call it. You put the 2 carbon fiber poles in there, you pull the shade taut, it connects to them, and it covers the whole back deck of the boat, which is fantastic on a hot day. We have a walk-through transom door here. We have our pop puller. One unique thing about this boat is because we have 2 air conditioners on board, and we have raw water that's coming in, salt water coming into the boat. It goes into a sea chest first. This is a flushing connection port, so we can actually connect a dock hose here. We can close the sea cock valves that are letting the salt water in the boat, and we can flush the whole system out with fresh water from the dock, and that'll flush out your air conditioning units as well. So something kind of a great feature we've started doing on all the boats that have air conditioners is to have that flushing system. And then it allows you to put some pink RV coolant in there in the winter months when you're winterizing the boats. A lot of these boats, they go to cold climate areas, and so that's a great way to winterize it. You're going to notice we've set up this back deck. Look at all the space I've got. So we want to zone the boat out. We want this part of the boat to be where the grill station happens. So we put on this boat a 48-volt electric grill. It gets hot quickly and instantly. It's easy to clean, easy to use. There's no gas on board the boat, no propane. Just a simple system, runs off the batteries that the boat will fuss about more later. And then we've got a nice countertop space where we can prep and cook. But I can hang out back here. Someone else can hang out back here with me. It's a 2-person station, easily to hang out while the rest of your guests are enjoying the boat and its different amenities. We added a sink so that you can do for your meal prep and your cleaning. Even if you're fishing and you just want to wash your hands off, you want to keep that stuff out of the boat. Keep it back here. Easy to rinse off this area of the boat if you're fishing and you want to fillet up some bait and whatnot. For those that go swimming, We have a hot water, cold water wash down shower here, so you can rinse off with fresh water out of the boat. These stainless steel Osculata units are fantastic. You're gonna see them on a lot of our boats. They become a real standard piece of equipment. One unique thing that you might have seen a snapshot of earlier, but we do have two shore power connection points on this boat. One is a 30 amp and one is a 50 amp. So we did that and we designed the electrical system to be ultimate compatibility for different marina use. We know that some docks only get 30 amp power, and this being a boat under 50 feet means that you might come into a slip that doesn't have a 50 amp Lorage dockside power. So you have either option. You're gonna wanna use 50 amps when you're running all the gear on board, because this boat does have a lot of equipment, especially the 2 air conditioners. But it gives you usability, and that is key, I think, for boating, is to be able to go to different places with the boats. So as we look and we come into the cockpit of the boat, I'll step around this way. You're gonna notice right away the 14-foot beam is pent out. It adds a lot of room for the back deck. We did a huge bench over here. We did a rear-facing bench. You know, we designed these ergonomics to make them extremely comfortable for lounging and entertaining. If you're into fishing and you like to go offshore, we're undercover here. We're out of the sun. We can watch the fishing gear easily, and it's just a great spot to be on the boat. We're padded right up against the inside bench, so the openness of the boat is fantastic. We really try and design the boats so that they're not one-dimensional, they're multi-dimensional. You can use them West Coast, East Coast, Great Lakes, Caribbean, and the boat, you can configure it the way you need for those different environments and space. We know the boat's gonna go a lot of different areas around the world. What you're gonna find with this boat, though, is that we really tried to maximize storage back here. So all of these bench seats, they open up to find lots of great storage. And one thing that you'll see with our boats is that we've started painting the inside of all these lockers with a condensation paint. They are aluminum, and obviously aluminum can condensate in cold environments when there's a temperature variance. So we're using a condensation paint now, and that has been extremely helpful to remove any moisture that might build up inside these lockers. You're gonna find the same thing back here. Like, we open up these lockers, we call them the garage doors. You're gonna find loads of access and storage of space, and the rigging is really easy to get to for the boat. You wanna change your fuel filters, really easy to get to. You can see your main ELCI boxes for the 50 and 30 amp shore power connections right there. You'll see that the rigging on our boats, we pride ourselves in extremely concise, clear layouts. That tank there, that's the diesel tank. This boat does have a diesel boiler on board. So we have the 15-gallon tank to supplement diesel for the diesel boiler. We like the diesel boiler because the diesel boiler allows us to have basically unlimited hot water while we're out and underway. We have a hot water heater that's 120 volts, but the diesel boiler doesn't use any of our batteries really. It just uses the propellant of the diesel to run that boiler, and it goes to an exchange plate and it makes as much hot water as you want. So we love that. This deck, this lid opens up. What you're gonna find in here is more space. This was designed as a compartment where you could put an inflatable kayak, an inflatable paddleboard, maybe a couple of them, maybe even an inflatable dinghy. But the space is extremely usable for somebody. It's well laid out for rigging access as well. You're gonna see some rigging components down there when needed. And then lastly, one of the most important things for the hot days, like today, is an ice maker. So we have an ice maker on the back deck, and then lots of power, right? 120 volt outlets for power. Our rear deck joystick, we can dock this boat with extreme precision because this has the integrated bow thruster joystick feature from Mercury and side power. So the side power bow thruster is integrated and designed into the program architecture for the joystick. So from right here, I can easily pinpoint move dock this boat wherever you want. We have a Garmin display back here. We have a charger for our phones, and then the USB Type-C and the USB Type 12-volt sockets. So it's a great setup. Rear deck camera as well, so we can watch what's going on back here. We went with the Fusion Apollo speakers. They'll see that throughout. You're gonna see all the underlighting. The RGB lighting for the boat, there's 8 different zones. You can customize and mix and match things as you look through it. And we just selected blue for the moment, but it's a really cool feature. Super fun. As we step into the boat, you're going to see a similar layout to a lot of our vessels, both the 35s, 41s, and 50s that we've done so far, where we have our settee over here to the port side and a nice big U wraparound bench. And then we have a forward-facing bench in front. So we went with maximizing comfortability and lounge space in this boat because it is 30,000 pounds and it has a deep V hull. So it's going to ride fantastic. So we set up for more lounging than what you've seen in a lot of other boats, which is suspension seating. That has been a staple for us for a long time. We still have a suspension seat for the driver, primarily because we like the functionality of it and the universal feel it gives, where we can stand or we can sit. We, have the throttles on the armrest still. So all those great features we still love as an operator, so we incorporated a suspension seat into this as well. Looking over at the galley here, because this is a bigger boat, we were able to fit in 2 refrigeration freezer units. These are optional. You can push the button, the mode button, and you can choose fridge, freezer, fridge, freezer. So these drawers are customizable based on the need of the day. So that gives you 4 different drawers that you can customize. We could have 4 freezers or 4 fridges, and that is a really cool aspect to it. You're obviously going to see the 42-inch TV that pops up in and out of the galley back here. That's a nice feature for the boat. This client went with a Starlink Mini. He plugged that in. We put a USB power socket up here, and so he could put it into the sky, the sunroof there, and the great way to use it for him. Keeps it simple, and it's interchangeable as technology changes out. He doesn't have a fixed unit on the roof. He can just unplug this, put the new model in, and he's good to go. Obviously, we've got a microwave and we've got storage. Again, the name of the game is storage. When you get to the boat of this size, you want to be able to have places to put things. So lots of drawer units. One thing that always comes up to us is, where's your cooktop? So this client has a new wave. He brings it out. He plugs it into his outlet, and he can use his new wave cooktop right here. It doesn't get built into the countertop. And the functionality for clients, the nice feature is that you now have a piece of equipment that if it fails, there's nothing you have to worry about. You just go get another one. And it frees up all the countertop space when you want it there. If you're entertaining folks and you want your countertop space, now we have it again. So we like that universal feel of our boats to have it like that. We've got air conditioning on this boat. It's running right now. It feels amazing, even with the windows open and the doors open. We have 2 18,000 BTU air conditioners from Dometic. The Voyager units are on board. They're a steady state, which means they don't have a huge demand load when they start up. They ramp and move slowly as needed. Because of the sea chest design, we're able to run the air conditioners even wide open speeds, 60 miles an hour. They're blowing cold. It's amazing. We looked at the guys that are doing the high-speed boats in Florida with the bait well tanks, because they got to keep their bait alive and do 60 to 70 miles an hour. So we went and we designed our systems after that. We don't have the bait well tanks. We have air conditioning, and that is something people really need on a hot day. So over here on the passenger side of the boat, as we talked earlier, we designed it for more comfortable seating because this is a big boat. It's got a deep V hull. It rides fantastic. We want people to be comfortable and hanging out. There's going to be a lot of times with this boat's at anchor, at the dock. The transiting happens so fast. I mean, the boat does over 60 miles an hour, so you're going to get point to point to your destination quickly, and then you're going to enjoy the time there at that space. That's really what boats are about a lot of times, is getting to a destination and enjoying the destination. So this allows, an adult and a couple kids to sit up here. The visibility is amazing. Kids can see out the windows. They can see what's going on. Tried to design the visibility point to be high in the boat. And then you can connect with everybody that's sitting right here too. It doesn't disconnect you from the rest of the boat. We want the boat to be an open feel and people to be connected and enjoying the space. I can easily see with the windows open. I can easily be basically connected to the people on the back deck still. So that's something really unique that I think is worth noting on this boat and this design. For those that want a little bit more airflow, this boat does have the largest sunroof we've ever installed into a boat. And I think what's amazing that I hear time and time again from clients that do have sunroofs is how quiet the boat rides with the sunroof open. You literally don't hear a difference in noise when it's open or closed when you're underway. It is astonishing. Really love that system a lot. So as you can see, we ran the track lighting for around the upper portion of the boat as well. Just the accent lighting. At night, this boat looks fantastic. The boat is transformative. You can transform this boat to be a lot of different things for a lot of different people. And again, that's what we keep coming back to, is the multi-tool of boat theory. So we come over to the driver's side. If you look at the driver's side seat, we still love suspension seat for the driver. I mean, the functionality this design gives us is tremendous. Whether it's you want to sit in the seat and have 8 inches of air ride travel in a rough day, or you want to stand in the seat. We can lower the seat pan, and now with standing here, our eyesight has not changed. That's the key, the eyesight. We want the eyesight to be the same whether you're in the seat or out of the seat. I can put the armrest down. I'm comfortable. It's ergonomic. It's a tilt wheel. I can see my displays. I have no impedance of view of my displays. I love that. I love the clean look of everything. And again, we've integrated most of the controls into the displays. That's what allows us such a clean look here. So if we come over to the vessel control screen, for example, we can control the stereo, we can control the RGB lighting, we can control the courtesy lighting and the flood lighting in the boat, we can control the zip wakes, and we can control the Fathom. So that's wonderful. And then, you know, obviously you have your sonar, and you have your radar, and you have your charts. All these fun things are in here already built in. I mean, Garmin does a great job with all of this. You want to see an interesting stat? We're going to replace this data. We're going to come down to trip, and we're going to look at maximum speed. Look at that, 71 miles an hour. This boat has done 71 miles an hour. It weighs 33,000 pounds. That's pretty astonishing. The other thing you're going to see is that we've integrated lots of camera systems in the boat. We talked about at one point our anchor. This is viewing our anchor windlass system. This is viewing our rear deck. And this is viewing the night vision camera, the infrared FLIR camera we have mounted on the roof. Any of these we can blow up to be full screen when we're running that piece of equipment. We can deploy that anchor. It's on a drum windlass, stainless steel chain. We can bring it right back up from the helm. It's as simple as that. You don't have to go to the bow. This is a worm drive motor. It's 48 volts. There's only 3 48-volt windlass drum motors in existence right now. We have all 3, at least according to the company we purchased it from. And we could do that because we have this 48-volt battery bank on there. So power up, power down. We have a counter. It's just a really clean, simple solution. And then as we talked earlier, the boat does have the Fathom controls. So again, the Fathom controls allows us to run the outboards essentially as large generators. When all 3 engines are on and we're over 2,000 RPMs, we're essentially producing as much power as 10 kilowatt generator. We're over 250 amps at 55 volts. It's a tremendous amount of power. The battery bank itself on this boat, we have 4 6,000 watt batteries. Each of them are 24 volts, but they're connected in series and then again in parallel, which gives us 12,000 watts of 48 volt power. It's a tremendous amount of power. So as you can see here, it's telling us right now we're pulling 40 amps of power out of that battery bank. We're pulling it out at 52 volts, and that's going to give us 4 hours of run time with all the equipment on, including the air conditioning. We're consuming about 4,000 watts right now between the 48 volt, the 120 volt, and the 12 volt systems on board. 3 separate voltages being used right now. It's pretty great. And when you want to charge your batteries, you hit this button. Yep, I want to charge it. It's going to go boost mode. What's going to happen is the outboards are going to go through a series of checks, and then they're going to start. And after they start, they're going to slowly ramp up to about 48 volts of power. And they do that by going to 2200 RPMs. Okay, I'm going to show you how easy it is to single-hand this boat out of a slip. First thing I'm going to do, power up. Give it a couple of wraps. Take control back here. Got the integrated bow thruster feature. Easy to come off the dock. This is another Garmin display. I've got the Fathom system up. You can kind of see what's going on. I can click here and I can see how many watts we're using while we're sitting here. We're not on shore power. We're just going off the lithium battery. We can see that based on our battery right now, and it's 45% full, we are drawing 40 amps out of that battery to supplement all the loads that it was showing. And we have approximately 4 hours. We just sit here like just with all the air conditioning on, with all the lights on, all the displays on, based on the fact that we're at 45% full. One of the best things about this boat is the space it has. So with a 14-foot beam, we're able to have a great lower cabin for people. This space we've designed to be customizable. This client wanted to have a day bed here. It's a great reading nook. Or when his daughter has friends on board, they may sleep here as a separate bunk for them. The settee also converts to a twin XL. So that's a sleeping spot. This is a sleeping spot, the master, and then the queen bed down below. So you essentially have 4 different sleeping zones on the boat for guests that come on board. Coming into the master of the 45, what you're gonna see, well, this is a king XL mattress. This space is really big, has a lot of light, with a lot of shades. So we have these little shades up so that you can black out the space when when someone's sleeping. But if you want more light, it's easy to add it. We have a 32-inch TV on the wall behind me. This is connected to the main system in the boat that we have Apple TV. So we can put Apple TV on any of the Garmin displays or any of the TVs. Everybody can watch the same thing. We have multi-zone for the stereo system. They can control it independently down here if they want. And then we have closet on this side for storage. All about space. It's all about storage. And then you have venting down here as well. The air conditioning of this state is controlled here, and it actually controls all the air conditioning in this lower part of the boat. That allows you to turn off the air conditioner on the main part of the boat to conserve your batteries when you're on anchor. Because again, this boat is designed to really run on that lithium as a supplemental battery bank when you're on the hook. Keeps things quiet, lets you connect with nature more and not with hearing the generator run the whole time. And then as we make our way out of the master, you'll see into the master head, we have a wet head, a large wet head. So big sink, big mirror, cabinets galore, windows, and then we have our shower in this corner. So it is a wet head, and so that's something we could talk about with clients depending on what they need. Wet head versus non-wet head, we could do that. So the customized little spacer across from you could in fact be a separate shower or a separate head if someone needs it. Looking back under the floor, you're going to see access to a queen XL mattress. So it's a transverse mattress, lots of storage above, but everything we design is an XL in length because we want to make sure we accommodate those taller folks. It's a great spot. There's a curtain that goes up here to add privacy to the space, but 2 adults comfortably can fit down there. And then one thing that we talked about with the client early on was that we wanted to make sure it was easy to do the mattress cushions for those that needed to do the bedding, because that is always a thing. So we designed the floor of this space where you could lift up, this hatch here, and now you had clear access to that lower area. So if somebody wanted more airflow, they wanted more ventilation, or they just wanted to be able to change the mattress sheets, because really that's what it's about. This space, this access point allow you to do that. So that's really the 45. You can see we've got an opening skylight there in the front. Load just face at the back. And yeah, if you have any questions or you have any comments, anything that you want to talk about specific around this boat, please feel free to shoot us an email. info@inventecmarine.com. It'll come to one of us. We're happy to answer it and provide you more info. Thanks for watching.